Wilfried Nancy's nightmare start just got worse. Ex-England striker Stan Collymore has called for him to be sacked after just 4 games in charge. Peter Lawwell has stepped down as chairman, but pundits are saying that's just the beginning. Celtic have lost 4 straight matches, and the pressure is reaching breaking point. It's been a brutal 24 hours at Paradise. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Stan Collymore has weighed in on the crisis engulfing Celtic, calling for Wilfried Nancy to be relieved of his duties after just 4 games in charge. He made the comments with genuine sadness after Dundee United were the latest team to beat Celtic. The home side, despite being winless in 7, played without fear and at times went man for man in their press, even in the first half when Celtic were on top. A few tweaks from Jim Goodwin at half-time and Celtic completely lost control of the game. Nancy has endured a nightmare start, losing all 4 of his matches as Celtic boss, including a League Cup final against St Mirren. He tweeted, "Wilf has to go." I say that with a genuine sadness and wouldn't be surprised if he pops up in 5 years successful elsewhere. But Celtic Football Club is about winning, then winning with style, then a swagger on top. 4 games losing is accepted at almost every club bar a handful, and Celtic is one. So Wilf goes. Martin O'Neill. As a comforting rescue remedy until the end of the season, yes, but not beyond that. Why? Because the club need to find someone for 3 to 5 years who's going to reassert a winning DNA, so any temporary manager is only delaying that absolutely necessary appointment, freshness and internal grabbing the club by the nuts. Martin can start a fire, but he's not going to keep it going until he's 76 to 77. Earlier this week, Martin O'Neill didn't want to talk too much about the Celtic job, but did tell fans to get behind Nancy. The manager did reveal that he was keen to stay on in the Celtic dugout, but the club were focused on appointing a new permanent manager, which, on paper, is fair enough. Now for the main story, as Stan Collymore has slammed Celtic's boardroom shakeup as nothing more than damage control, warning that Peter Lawwell's departure is not enough to resolve the deeper issues plaguing the club. Reacting to the chairman's decision to step down amid mounting pressure and fan unrest, Collymore wrote on X, "Lawwell is a sacrificial lamb aimed to quell dissent, when the reality is there are probably half a dozen in the building from admin to sporting department who need to move on for younger, hungrier and proven ruthless winners." Lawwell's resignation was confirmed just hours before Celtic's 2-1 defeat to Dundee United, a 4th consecutive loss under Wilfried Nancy. The result, combined with growing discontent from supporters, has intensified calls for a wider overhaul. Celtic had led for the first time under Nancy, but couldn't hold on to the lead in the second half. Collymore's comments echo the feelings of many within the Celtic fan base, who have made their frustrations clear through protests, chants and banners demanding a total reset of the club's leadership structure. Fans were just yards away from Celtic directors as they aimed "sack the board" chants at them on Wednesday night. A banner with the words "Celtic's shame" with an arrow pointing to where Nicholson, Mackay and incoming interim chairman Brian Wilson were sitting to watch the game. As pressure continues to mount, the focus now turns to whether further changes will be made at executive level or if Lawwell's exit was merely the beginning of a larger clear-out. In other news, the Scottish Greens are urging the Scottish FA to introduce free bus travel to and from Hampton Park for anyone holding a ticket to a game or event at the National Stadium. In a statement on their official website, the party stressed the strain that major fixtures and concerts place on transport links and local residents. "We all love to see our favourite bands and football teams at Scotland's National Stadium, but anyone who's travelled to Hampton for a game or gig knows exactly how busy the roads and trains can get," the statement reads, "and anyone who lives in the shadow of the stadium knows just how many fans line our streets for stadium shows. Parking is chaotic, and the traffic congestion blocks our roads. We can do better for fans and the local community." Their proposal calls on the SFA to work with Glasgow City Council, First Bus, Police Scotland and the local community council to provide free dedicated bus travel for ticket holders on match days and for stadium events. The campaign urges fans and local residents to add their voices to build support, with the Greens arguing that free bus travel would benefit fans, reduce congestion and contribute to a greener, more livable Mount Florida and Glasgow. Celtic supporters will be all too familiar with the transport challenges. The Hoops were last at Hampton on Sunday, when they lost to St Mirren in the League Cup final, and the queues on buses, trains, and roads were as heavy as ever. The idea of free, dedicated matchday bus travel is one that resonates with many fans, particularly those who have seen how smooth such systems can be in other countries. Places like Germany's Bundesliga stadiums often operate integrated public transport schemes on match days, where ticket holders travel at no extra cost across trains, buses, and trams. It's a system that keeps traffic flowing and supporters moving efficiently. In other news, former Scotland midfielder James McFadden delivered a scathing assessment of Celtic after their 2-1 defeat to Dundee United, saying the Hoops' drop-off from first to second half under Wilfried Nancy is unbelievable and far too familiar. Celtic took the lead through Dyson Maeda and looked capable of controlling the game early on, but United made tactical changes at half-time and turned the contest around. McFadden believes the pattern of fading in the second half has been a recurring problem in each game under Nancy. Speaking on Sky Sports, McFadden laid it bare. In the 3 domestic games under Nancy, Celtic have played really well in the first half. However, the drop-off in fluidity, energy and threat posed from the first half to the second is unbelievable. That's not just tonight. It was the same against Hearts and in the League Cup final against St Mirren. Dundee United would have been delighted to get in at 1-0 at half-time so Jim Goodwin could make changes, and they got their rewards for it. Celtic rallied in the end, and Maeda had a huge chance at the end, but the drop-off from first half to second half is far too big. There is no control in games. They can't up the tempo. When the subs come on, players are all over the place. You just have a bunch of players who don't really know what they're doing. Overall, it is not good enough. McFadden's words echo growing concern over Celtic's performances this season, not just the results. Domination in the opening periods has not translated into consistency or control after the break. We saw that under Martin O'Neill too, but his sides managed to grind out a result. Lastly, Wilfried Nancy's difficult start to life as Celtic manager has not only drawn criticism from fans and pundits in Scotland, but now also from across the Atlantic. Former Celtic midfielder Craig Burley, now a pundit for ESPN FC, delivered a scathing verdict on social media following the Hoops' 2-1 defeat to Dundee United, which was Nancy's 4th consecutive loss since taking charge. "Taxi for Wilfried," Burley tweeted, which is a reaction that just about sums up the growing frustration around the Frenchman's appointment. Nancy's arrival from MLS side Columbus Crew was always going to raise eyebrows, and after defeats to Hearts, Roma, St Mirren, and now Dundee United, the scrutiny has intensified. Burley's jibe reflects the sentiment of many who feel the job might be too big, too soon for the 48-year-old, especially with Celtic now 6 points behind Hearts. That's all for today's Celtic news. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below with your thoughts on Nancy's future. We'll be back with more Celtic news soon. Hail, hail!